everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And this is really fun today. We are here to give our preview show for the epic month that is June weddings, not June brides, as I keep saying, June weddings here on Hallmark Channel. And it's got wedding marches and it's got Graceland and it's very, very exciting. And I am Rachel and I have a great panel today here to preview these films. And I have Caroline is here.
Hey.
Yes. And Kaycee is here.
Hello, everyone.
And our very esteemed guest. It's very exciting to have. Alys Murray is here, and she is the only one that is anticipating a wedding on this panel. so I knew she had to come.
Hi, Hallmarkies. Yep, I'm getting married in July, and I am sure that my mother and I will spend, all of our pre-wedding planning nights watching these movies. So, very excited.
Have you been accused at all of being a bridezilla?
No, actually, I usually get the opposite. They're usually like I usually go into like a flower meeting or whatever, and I'm like, you guys are good at your jobs. Like, I want it to be pretty. And so they're like, are you sure you don't have anything specific? And I'm like, no. And they're like, well, brides usually come in with like Pinterest boards and binders. And I'm like, yeah, no, I just want it to look nice.
Yeah.
So I have not been accused of being a bridezilla, but there is still, 2 months left to go.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Take notes from these movies.
Oh, yes.
How to behave. You have to have a the night before meltdown. I expect great details. And there should be some past boyfriend that
Absolutely
all of a sudden comes into play, and you're like, no, go away. But yeah, so that's very exciting though. Where are you getting married?
New Orleans, where I grew up.
Oh,
that's fun. So are you having like a Mardi Gras theme or?
Well, it's kind of funny. They really don't do Mardi Gras parades outside of, Mardi Gras season. So usually like after March, you're kind of in the clear. Because Mardi Gras parades are kind of a headache. You have to close the streets and it's, kind of just a nightmare. And so we specifically got married in the summer so we wouldn't have to deal with that. And then one of the crews, like the biggest crew in New Orleans, Knicks, announced that they were going to do a special one-time only summer Mardi Gras parade on the night of our wedding in front of our reception venue.
No way.
Yeah, so we have to get like a police escort to stop the parade so we can get all of our people through to the venue. And it'll be really cool because a lot of our guests are from England and they've obviously never seen a Mardi Gras parade before. So there's a balcony at our venue so they can like look out on the street and watch the parade. But it definitely was a surprise when we got that, kind of push notification on our phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, that is. I mean, it's perfect in a way, but I can see how it also be a little bit of a hassle to deal with. But what was it like picking your dress? Was that fun?
Oh gosh, it was so weird. My mom and we just kind of went to go look for bridesmaids dresses at this little shop near her house, and I wasn't really going to try on any wedding gowns because I wanted like everyone to be there, like my grandmothers and friends and stuff. And we were there looking at bridesmaids dresses, and she was like, well, why don't we just put a couple on, because you can kind of see what styles you like and what sort of things you're into, and kind of help us narrow things down once we have kind of like the big crew there. And the first wedding dress I put on, I just went, oh, Mom, it's my dress. And
I feel like I've heard that a lot, like people that the first one ends up being
and I put on a ton just to make sure that it wasn't just like, oh, whatever, but I put it on and it had pockets, and like I put my hand in the pockets, and I just like I started to get really emotional because I was like, oh, this is the dress I'm gonna wear when I marry the man of my dreams and with all my family. And it was amazing. It was kind of an incredible moment. So
that's really cute. So Kaycee, what about your wedding? Did you get any bridezilla accusations?
No one specifically
Like,
called
to my
me
face.
a bridezilla to my face, but I will say I'm very particular. But thankfully, this was like kind of pre-Pinterest days. Like Pinterest was starting to be the thing. Like someone told me, "Oh yeah, there's this thing called Pinterest. You should look it up for your wedding." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, I don't even know what this is. But yeah, very particular. I had a very specific style that I liked. I did have like specific flowers that I wanted. I mean, very basic. I just wanted pink and white roses for the bridesmaids, and then white roses for me. Also, my wedding dress experience. I went to David's Bridal with two of my bridesmaids, and I found a few dresses that I wanted to like try on. I didn't have a specific style in mind. That was the one thing that was kind of like, okay, whatever looks good, right? And I put the first one on, and I walked out, and my friends go, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah, this isn't it." And they're like, "Oh, okay, just kidding."
That's funny.
So I tried a few more on, didn't find any there, and then I was with my mom. And I think we were also looking for bridesmaids dresses, and maybe like try on a few just for fun, like a few wedding dresses for fun. And that's when I found my dress. It was with my mom, and my friends were really surprised. I think my maid of honor was kind of sad she couldn't be there because we had plans to go, wedding dress shopping again. But yeah, I found it and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was great.
That's
trying to think if I had any other like bridezilla moments. I did have a bridezilla moment. I'll admit this. So I guess in the Philippines, I'm Filipino. I was born here, but my parents are from the Philippines. And I guess for weddings, they always have these gigantic signs with like the bride and groom's name on it. Like congratulations, and it's like huge. It's like 5 feet by like it's a gigantic banner. It's like the bigger it is, the more, I don't know. It's just ridiculous looking. So while I was in college, my mom ordered a banner that was, one, not my wedding colors. Like it was very off, and two, it was that's not my style. Yeah. And I was like, I didn't have a freak out and I didn't have a meltdown, but I definitely was very curt about the not so style league of me banner. And then I felt bad kind of a few years later.
You're like, we can have the banner up now.
Well, I was kind of like, why would you order this when like I'm not like, you didn't even ask me if I liked it.
Yeah.
It was not my style.
I don't think that I don't think having opinions makes you a bridezilla, but it's just, obviously in these movies, they go way over the top.
To that situation.
And you can still have the wedding that you want and not be a terrible person. So that's very, very fun. So, all right. Well, we have the June weddings movie, plus we will also talk about the 2 mysteries. And we always like to do these ridiculous rating systems for our preview shows. And last year, we just did all of summer in one whole podcast and preview. And so ours was a little bit different. But we decided to use a ring system for this preview. So we're starting with a diamond engagement ring, of course, is your most you're so excited. This is going to be an amazing movie. And then a gold band is like really nice, solid, and it looks fun. And then we have a ring pop that you're hoping it'll be sweet, but and then finally, reserved for probably only one special movie, we have a promise ring. That's our lowest of previews. So this is going to be very fun. All right, our first one, we have Wedding at Graceland. And I guess, but real quick, what did each of you think of Christmas at Graceland? What did you think, Caroline?
It was cute. Like I liked Wes Brown in it. Kelly was cute in it, but it wasn't my like top favorite. But I can tolerate it to watch it again.
Yeah. What about you, Kaycee?
I actually liked it. Considering that Kelly Pickler is not an actress, I thought she did a pretty good job with her role in it. The only thing I'm hoping that they don't do this time is play the same song 700,000 times like they did with Silent Night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll watch it again.
Alys, did you get to see this one?
I did. I actually got to watch all of the Hallmark Christmas movies this year. It was quite a feat. I was so happy. I really liked this one. I think Kelly Pickler has very fun energy. Like, I would like to have a mimosa with her. I feel like we would have a lot of fun going shopping. Like, I think she's really fun to watch. So I'm hoping, I agree that I think, I'm a little bit, I don't want them to play the same song a million times. But other than that, I think I enjoyed the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you get tired of Silent Night? Like, I was like, what? But I was just like, there are lots of traditional carols. I don't understand why they're playing Silent Night over and over and over. It's not like you have to get the rights to some of these other old carols. It was very funny. And but yes, Wes Brown was so a dream in this last one. In Christmas at Graceland, I thought that he was just so smoldering the whole time. I was like, yeah, this is great. And I liked her friend. I thought she was cute, and the little girl was cute. I enjoyed it. I could have used more Graceland, and so I'm hoping
For sure.
that in this one that we get more in the house, more Graceland. But anyway, the summary for Wedding at Graceland is Laurel and Clay have 3 weeks to plan their wedding that will take place at Elvis Presley's celebrated Memphis home. However, when both sets of in-laws, each with vastly different personalities and ideas for the wedding, descend upon Memphis to help plan the nuptials, the bride and groom are pushed to the breaking point. So this is like the banner, but double time, I think, for Laurel and Clay. And in 3 weeks, can you imagine, Kaycee, having planned your wedding in 3 weeks?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I might as well plan an elopement. Like, okay, we're booking tickets and we're leaving everybody, and that's it.
Yeah. I remember one of my friends in college, her parents had her parents had gotten divorced, remarried, and his parents, the groom's parents, had gotten divorced and were both remarried. So there were like 6 parental type figures all trying to kind of weigh in and want their opinion and all this stuff on the wedding. And they at one point they wanted her to serve chicken soup at the wedding, and she's like, I'm not gonna do that, that's bizarre. And so that's what they did, elope, which is kind of uncommon in my faith to elope, but but they were just like, okay, we're getting married next week, if you want to come, you can come. And then that was by far the happiest solution. And then they just did an open house kind of a thing where people could just come and say hi or whatever. But yeah, they were just like, I can't deal with all this. I'm just call the I got a dress, call the photographer, we're good. So anyway, this is directed by Eric Close, who did the previous one, and it got this, I think, the same writers. There's a team of writers, Greg Rawson, Brian Sawyer, and Dwayne Poole. And the big, I guess, get is not only, of course, we have Kelly Pickler and Wes Brown, but we have Priscilla Presley, and it's probably just a cameo, is my guess. But that's kind of fun to have her in the Graceland movies.
Yeah, do we know what her character is gonna like? Is it just solely a cameo, or is she gonna be like the crazy aunt or something?
I would be surprised if she's actually a character.
Yeah.
Like, that would be weird, because it's at Graceland and like the whole.
Yeah, if she's there, she's got to be playing herself, right? And
I
be
would
like,
think.
in my family, we have some pretty crazy characters too. Like giving some advice, maybe.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, her being at the house or something like that, or it that she ends up running into or whatever, and like, oh, Priscilla. She was like, back when I married Elvis, like, great advice. I don't know. That's what I think. What do you think, Caroline? Do you think?
I think it's going to be a cameo.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see her in a movie. It's going to be neat.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And I guess we're gonna get a Kelly Pickler Lee Bryce duet.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
He's from my hometown, Lee Bryce.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, and it sounded pretty good. And I hope we don't get just like 30 seconds of it. I hope we get like a decent little. Yeah, that would be nice. Because they tend to be pretty sparing in their Hallmark in these musical they promise these big music, and then they sometimes don't deliver. But I'm excited about that, and I guess we're gonna hear Wes Brown singing. I guess.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
They made it sound like that from what we heard from Anne in the June Weddings fan event kind of thing, that there was some thing they were talking about Wes Brown singing. I don't know if that's true or not, but what do you think of the preview show? Did you like Jack and Josie doing the preview show?
I always think the preview shows are like so awkward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was fun.
I thought they were actually one of the better, though. Like, you tell they're kind of pros. They got this down.
Yeah.
They know how to host a show, I feel like, personally. But, okay, well, what do we want to give Wedding at Graceland for a ring? What do you give, Elise? What do you think?
I am very excited about this one. There's something about, like, in my mind, I immediately go to, like, Elvis wedding officiants in Vegas, and that really just like rings all my bells. I think it's hilarious. I'm excited about this one. I can't quite give it a diamond ring, but I think I'm gonna go gold band. I'm very excited.
Very good. Kaycee, what do you think?
I am excited for this I Can't Help Falling in Love with You dance that they do, that we saw in the preview. I thought it was like really sweet. And I don't know. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. So I'm going to give this one a gold band too.
Caroline, what do you think?
I'm excited about it. I do love Wes Brown, and I'm going to give it a ring pop. I'm not quite gold band, but it's like a high dollar ring pop.
Okay, good. Oh, it's like an expensive one.
Yeah.
Maybe chocolate in it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think if they go a little bit camp and have like the Elvis marrying them or something like that, that will definitely increase my excitement, and I like it a little bit more. I kind of doubt. I feel like they're taking it they're not being funny like that, but I hope so. That would be awesome. But yeah, I'm going to give it a gold band. I hope that it will be really sweet and really fun. So we will see what happens. All right. Next, this is the 8th. We have the Wedding March 5, My Boyfriend's Back, which is the most ridiculous name I've ever heard in my life. These are people in their 50s. What? What? Like, I would think if I heard anything with the : My Boyfriend's Back, I would think this was on the Disney Channel. And it's the new Hannah Montana movie or something. Like, what's going on? But just cracks me up that we have more Wedding March movies than Indiana Jones movies. Like, we have 5 of them. It's craziness. But Alys, what do you think about the Wedding March movies?
I think not much is what I think of them.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. They're just not my cup of tea. Like I kind of come from the romance novel world where like if you have a books in a series, then usually like the two characters in the first book are like married, and then the second books are about like their friends or their brother or whatever. So like watching the same two people try to get to the altar over all this time, it kind of tries my patience a little bit. And I think in like the description it says, you know, complications reach an all-time high for these two characters, and I'm like, how is that possible? Like, how can the stakes get that high? I don't know. I'm not sure that I'm on board with it. But I mean, I guess I have to watch it just for like the kind of like train wreck fact. Not train wreck. That's horrible. I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. So sorry.
Yeah.
But I think I have to watch it just because, you know, I'm invested now. I've watched 4 movies. I got to know, are we gonna get married ever? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm dying to have Lori Stark on the podcast to talk about Wedding March 5 because I don't know, in our interview I did with her, she's a podcaster and she's just like, that's the only thing that would get me to cover a non-Christmas movies if there's more Wedding March movies, because it's just so bizarre at this point. Like, what's happening? Because the thing is that you could have done every single one of the sequels but had them be married. Like, it would have changed nothing except for it would be believable. And I mean, because they still are doing those spin-offs basically. Like, each one of these is about a couple that gets married at their little venue, their little inn or whatever, and you could do that and then be married and it would be logical. Makes sense. And I don't know, last time when they pulled out that promise ring, I just about died laughing. It was so absurd. And I mean, how they could say those lines with a straight face. I think Jack Wagner and Joseph Zeta are even better actors than I gave him credit for.
That confused me. I was like, wait. We just went through this whole movie and you planned this whole giant vacation thing and have had all the bumps in the road because you have something special you want to do. And you're giving her a freaking promise ring and y'all are like 50 something. I am so confused right now. My mind literally cannot comprehend what has just happened. Like, does not compute.
Yeah. I mean, I'm nearly 40, and if somebody gave me a promise ring, I would be furious. Like, what is happening? It's absurd.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't know if this is just like from where I'm from here in Florida, but the joke is when you get a promise ring, it's bad luck. It means that y'all are gonna break up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Every person I know who has a promise ring is not with the person that they gave the promise ring to.
Same.
In high school, kids got promise rings, not in their 50s, you know? Like, I would be so embarrassed wearing it. I'd be like, what is going on?
I mean, can you just imagine your friends like, oh my gosh, look at your ring.
It's a promise ring.
When's the wedding?
Well, it totally fits what you were saying, Rachel, which is like you were saying, like the title "My Boyfriend's Back" is so like kind of juvenile almost, or like Disney Channel. Like a promise ring is so like, this is my 50-year-old boyfriend. He gave me a promise ring. Can you imagine? Oh, these poor characters, these poor actors.
I mean, I'm a fan in a way because it's just so fun to podcast about.
Yeah.
Good content.
Yeah, I mean, and these movies have managed to get really good writers, because Tracy Andreen did one, the Dabrowskis did 2 of them, and it's like, even, I don't know, it's just crazy. And I remember watching the second one, which I hated because they had a total bridezilla girl that was just the worst, and I'm just like, wow, Hallmark sequels
Was that
terrible.
Was that the one with Aaron Buckles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was trying to remember all the Wedding March movies and what I actually thought of them.
Yeah.
So the first one I liked. I thought it was great.
fine.
The second one was I didn't like the Bridezilla thing. I didn't mind Jack and Josie's characters as much. The third one is forgettable. I don't even know what happened there. The fourth one was like, what the heck? So
Yeah.
I
It gets increasingly bizarre because the third one, I mean, I love Gabrielle Miller and she's amazing, and Peter Benson is great, but the thing is, it's so bizarre because Mick is Jack Wagner's character is super judgy of the Peter Benson character, and he's like, I don't know about you, I don't think you're not one for commitment, you should be marrying my sister. And I'm like,
oh yes, that one.
You're a 50-year-old given a promise ring. What are you doing? And yeah, and then the last one, you had Andrew Walker pull out all the, and Mary Patterson. So that was fun, that part. But
that saved the movie for me, Andrew Walker.
Yeah, he was pretty good. And they have pulled out all the stops for this one as well, because they have, of course, Jack and Josie, and then Cindy Busby and Tyler Hines, who is I was just talking to Ruth about When Calls the Heart. We agreed that Chris McNally is the current king of Hallmark, but I think Tyler Hines is like a high up prince.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing, if he gets a role on a series, then he will I think be the co-king or something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why they put him on here, because they're like, oh well, we know the rest of these young folks who didn't really care about Jack and Josie from Young and Restless or whatever soap opera they were from. Ooh, Tyler Hines. Everybody was like fawning over him and his Henleys and sweaters. So let's stick him in this movie.
Yeah. And to be honest, I'm actually a little bit surprised that he's taken off as well as he has. I mean, I've absolutely loved all of his movies, but when I interviewed him, this was before I'd seen any of his movies, and he was so chill, he just seemed such a different vibe than is a typical Hallmark vibe, but he is just 100% won me over, that's for sure. And all of his movies have been really good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Falling for You especially, it was just best. And so and then we have Lane Edwards, who is in this, and I did get to write down his fiance character in the movie, but I know I've seen her in other stuff, but I love Lane so much. His interview is definitely one of my all-time favorites. I was just like practically crying. I was laughing so hard, and he was just hilarious. So if you haven't listened to that one,
it's so funny.
It's definitely one of the best we've ever done. He's great. And got Amber to tell her epic story of the of getting an entire tray of food thrown on her at the spilled on her at the Olive Garden. I don't know. It was just a great podcast episode. But anyway, and so he's great. So great cast. The summary is 5th time's a charm, right?
No.
In the continuation of the beloved Wedding March series. Okay. Stakes are high for newcomer wedding planner Annalise, and that's Cindy Busby, who needs to please investors with her latest gig at Mick and Olivia's inn. Toss in an ex-boyfriend best man, Brad, by Tyler Hines, and complications reach an all-time high. So, Caroline, is that what do you think?
I said the saving grace right now is Tyler Hines and Lane Edwards.
Yeah.
I'm excited though to watch it just to see what craziness happens. Like
I think there's going to be a battle to live tweet this one. I think we're going to have to fight over it. What's the co-host, because it's going to be so ridiculous. But yeah, I agree. I do, and I do love Cindy. She was also in a pretty early interview of ours, and she's just so sweet, so fun. So yeah, they got a great cast. It's directed by Mike Roll, written by Kim Byer Johnson is her name, And so there you go, Wedding March 5. So Elise, what ring would you give Wedding March 5?
Diamond ring, everyone. We're going diamond ring on Wedding March 5. No, I'm kidding. Absolutely. Promise ring.
Yeah, it's why we invented the category.
I mean, it is what it deserves. It's what it asked us, begged us to give it a promise ring. And unfortunately, I mean, I love this cast, and I think the creative team is really great. I think the series has kind of lost its kind of steam for me.
Yeah. I mean, do we all agree the promise ring is the category?
Yes, but like a diamond ring for craziness. You know what I mean? Like,
Kaycee, you're higher on it, huh? Or no?
I'm a little higher on it. Like, I'm like, do I give it not like a Bobo promise ring, like a nice looking promise ring with maybe a slight ring pop that'll just, pop up in there for Tyler Hines, Cindy Busby, and Lane Edwards, and the craziness that's going to ensue. You're
on like the monthly subscription plan for ring pops, like the extra. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay, well, next we have Love Take Two, and this is has new to Hallmark, Heather Hemmons and Cornelius Smith Jr. And the summary is Lily, a wedding reality TV show producer, heads back to her hometown to shoot an episode. While rediscovering her roots, she also rediscovers her former college sweetheart. So often the tale in Hallmark, Scott. But plot twist, he's actually one of the soon-to-be grooms saying "I do" on her show. However, as the two reconnect, their spark reignites, and they both start to reevaluate their lives. And I have to admit, when I read this, and even when I saw the poster, I was like, ugh, that sounds not great to me. But I really was charmed by them in the little segment in the preview show, in the behind the scenes. I thought, oh, these people are cute. They're fun. And so I felt much more positive about this movie watching the preview show than I did from reading that summary. I don't know. What do you think, Caroline?
I'm excited about it. I just hope they do the like falling in love thing like tastefully, because I always hate the like falling in love while engaged thing, But they look really cute, and I'm excited to see them in the Hallmark movie.
Yeah, I agree. That is definitely something to be concerned about. And I liked his mom. She seemed fun.
Yeah.
I like that actress. I feel like she's been in at least some stuff I've seen. She looked a little familiar, yeah. Mm-hmm. But Kaycee, what do you think about this one?
The preview didn't really catch me all that much. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of cool that they're, expanding with the diversity and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I also kind of like the idea of the whole TV show making thing. I think they did that really well with, what was it? Flip That Romance and like some of the other ones that they've done. So I think that's going to be a fun spin with it. It's like TLC meets TLC wedding bride stuff meets Hallmark. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah. Elise, would you ever go on a reality show for your wedding?
No, I mean, no, absolutely not. I think because I've read so much about like how mean those producers can be to people. Like, you read like all the stuff about The Bachelor, and they'll make those girls like ride around in the cars for like 6 hours and don't let them pee until they can like muster up tears for the camera.
Oh my gosh.
It's horrible. Yeah. It's so scary. I would be so afraid to like put especially my wedding, like in someone else's hands like that.
Yeah.
But I will say that my fiance was joking with me the other day, and he's like, "You didn't invite any of your ex-boyfriends to this wedding, huh?" And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Well, all your Hallmark movies, as soon as she invites the ex-boyfriend, that's who she ends up with."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, you're right. You are right." So I think it does, that element always kind of concerns me, and I think it has to be done kind of delicately. just so it doesn't feel like, emotional infidelity or any of
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But I think these two actors are really charming, and I think Cornelius Smith Jr. is like very like dapper and handsome, and I'm excited to see it. It's not like at the top of my list, but it's definitely not, at the bottom either.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Alan Harmon, he's done a bunch, so he's the director. He knows what he's doing. And then we have Michael G. Larkin and Sid Ventris are the writers. So I don't know them super well, but yeah, I was really won over by them, and I feel like they'll have good chemistry. And so I'm going to give it a gold band. But yeah, I hope that they manage that emotional infidelity thing element well. So we'll have to see. But Caroline, what would you give it?
I was going to gold band. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And Kaycee?
I think I'm gonna give it a good flavored ring pop.
Sure. What's your favorite flavor? Cherry?
Strawberry, blueberry,
Okay.
anything.
Good.
Something
All
good.
right. Very good. And Elise, what do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a gold band, but I think like a tangy gold band, like it had been sitting in the bag with a ring pop, like it's
Yeah.
right on the edge.
It's got like some of that sour powder on it or something like
Yes.
that. Okay, good. Very good. Okay, next we have The Last Bridesmaid. So this is pretty exciting because we've got Rachel Boston, Paul Campbell, Jeremy Gilbert, Clayton Chitty, incredible cast, and written by our very good friend Nina Weinman, who we love, directed by Mark Jean. It was a veteran, and the summary is the last bridesmaid standing, maybe not for long. Becca finds herself stuck in the always a bridesmaid, never a bride situation until her cousin's wedding draws not one, but two potential suitors into her orbit. A dreamy videographer and the endearing best man. Could one of them woo her? Tune in to find out. And so this is very exciting. I think the plot sounds fairly conventional, but I know that Nina will spice it up with her dialogue, which she's really good at. And, the great cast. And I felt like this might be the hunkiest I've seen Paul Campbell in a long time. I was like, whoa, this is a great clip. I just really enjoyed it. And it's a great cast. So from my perspective, I don't really see any negatives on this one. And I feel like they'll have really good chemistry, Rachel and Paul. But what do you think, Kaycee?
I am very, very excited about this. Yay! I've always liked Nina's movies. I think all of them so far I've seen that I've really enjoyed them. Paul Campbell, Rachel Boston, super stoked about that. I think they'll have really good chemistry. I think the story sounds I think it sounds, what's that movie? Like 27 Dresses, but like the G-rated version.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about this.
Yeah. Elise, what do you think?
Yeah, this is, obviously I don't see any negatives with this one. I think Nina Wyman Swift is just, she is like the Hallmark Dalton Trumbo. Like, everything she puts out is gold and brilliant and legendary. She's an icon, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
And I think this looks so exciting and so endearing and so sweet. And I think all three of the actors listed there are pretty dreamy. So I'm wondering which two are like the two who are kind of vying for her affection.
I think it's the Jeremy Gilbert character,
Yeah.
I think, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Clayton Chitty is pretty like dreamy too.
Yeah, he is.
So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I just can't really think of any negatives really for it.
Yeah. Caroline, do you agree?
I'm so excited about it when Rachel tweeted about it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love Nina.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited about it.
And Nina's obviously an icon because she was our first interview we ever did. So that has made her a favorite amongst all the Hallmark Channel. But no, she's amazing. She's incredible. And Diamond Ring, 100% for me. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to. She did my favorite one of my favorites of the year last year with for love the Love at First Dance.
Oh, I love that one.
That one was really good, I thought, and that was a June Weddings movie. So Caroline, do you agree? Diamond ring?
Yes, diamond ring, like high class diamond ring.
Okay, several carats.
Yes.
Kaycee, what about you?
Yes, Neil Lane is coming to me with a plate of diamond rings saying, have your choice of one. And it's going to be amazing and glistening and sparkly and everything.
Yeah. And Alys, you agree?
Just a river of diamond rings. Just let me bathe in it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, whole store. All right. And the last of the June Weddings movies is In the Key of Love. We have photographer Maggie comes face to face with her ex Jake in a rather uncomfortable way, shooting his sister Jennifer's wedding. The unplanned reunion gets off to a rocky start until Jennifer requests that the former flames sing their favorite duet for her first dance. We're dying to see if the power of song sows the seeds for a happy ending. And I should say that I got these summaries off of the Country Living spread instead of the Hallmark ones, and I think they're significantly better than the Hallmark ones, in my opinion. But anyway, this stars Lara Osnes, Scott Michael Foster, and Andrea Brooks. And it's directed by Claire Niederprum, and it's the script and I guess the music is by a bunch of Broadway veterans. It's Kevin Duda, Joe Ricci, and Julie Fuldesi. And the thing about this one is that Lara Osnes is an incredible singer, amazing. And I think Scott Michael Foster is as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but she's incredible, Lara. And I know that, obviously singing is an element. So I was sort of surprised in the previous show that we didn't hear any singing at all. Mm-hmm. And I thought that they had written multiple songs. Like I thought it was even more than just one song. Yeah, Scott Michael Foster is in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is a musical show. So I don't know. I was a little bit surprised by that. And because if they had sung a song, this would be Diamond Ring all the way. But I have a feeling that's going to be underwhelming and disappointing. So I'm kind of hedging my expectations on that front. But at least, what do you think about this one?
I'm not too high on it. The plot, kind of for me, it didn't really grab me. The cast, I know Lara Osnes is kind of a Broadway treasure, but she's not really my cup of tea. So really the saving grace for me is Claire Niederprum, who I think she directed Holiday for Heroes, which I really enjoyed. So she is kind of the one thing that's keeping me holding on. And also the music creative team, I think, is really good as well. I've seen and heard a couple of their songs. So I'm kind of going back and forth on this one, but it's not at the top of my list.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why it was just so surprising to me, because I would think with this pedigree that they would be really selling it on the music.
Right.
They would be kind of maybe even overselling it on the musical element, but then to have nothing, I was like, what? That's weird to me. But Caroline, what did you think?
I'm excited about it. I just haven't seen that much about it to really, get that invested in the story yet. So
yeah, I'm editing the music. Who knows? Yeah.
I like Andrea Brooks, so
yeah,
I'm excited.
He's good. Kaycee, what do you think?
Yeah, this one also didn't really capture me, but it was like a blip. Like, okay, this is what we're having and done. So it was kind of like, wait, what's gonna happen? Wait, what? So I don't know. I have no real expectations about it. I'm just hoping that the music element's going to be fantastic, because I love musicals and music and movies. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if it, like I said, I would be Diamond Ring if this was like a if it was a musical, but even if it's just like they had pumped the music, like I thought, oh, maybe we're getting 2 songs, that would be amazing to me. But
Hallmark just needs to do it. They just need to start producing musicals.
Yes.
I want it to happen. I need it to happen. Like if I'm a grown-up who still loves High School Musical. If Hallmark could make a High School Musical that speaks to me as a grown woman, that would be like chef's kiss. That's what I want.
Yeah. It would be it would be such a natural like fit, I feel like. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And you have
and
all
supporting
these
so many Broadway actors now. Like you have Laura Osnes, you have a bunch of Broadway actresses like Megan Hilty are going to be in a bunch of the Christmas movies. Kristen Chenoweth, like let's just do it. Come on.
Well, and especially with music being so integral to both weddings and Christmas, it just makes sense. It really does. And so let's do it. And so yeah, if it ends up being more music driven than I think it's going to be, then I would be like diamond ring excited because I love Laura. But I'm gonna go ring pop on this one for me. You agree, Caroline?
Yeah, but I was gonna say ring pop, but like a watermelon flavored ring pop.
Okay, good. Kaycee?
Yeah, I was gonna give it a ring pop, just like a basic ring pop that you get on Halloween, and it was like sitting there for a little bit. And then also real quick, it just dawned on me the play on words in the title in key of love? In the key of love?
In the key
like
of love.
the key music keys.
Yeah.
So
music.
If they don't make this more of a musical thing, it's a missed opportunity. And then I will demote this from my basic ring pop to a promise ring.
They could even bring back Debbie Gibson. We have her. I mean, there's no end to the Alicia Witt can sing. I mean, it's
Aaron Krakow can sing.
Yeah. Okay, and I didn't know she's a singer. At least what do you give it?
I am going to give it like a vending machine ring pop, like kind of the bottom of the barrel, been stale, been sitting there for a little while.
Okay,
that's my feeling.
It's a little sticky. Okay, all right. Now we're getting to our mysteries. We have the Picture Perfect mysteries, Newlywed and Dead, and this is our pilot basically of this new series. We've got the Pennevegas, and this one does have John Core, and it has Nelson Wong because it's directed by Ron Oliver, and they're 1-2 punch. And then it also has Paul McGillen, who's been in a bunch of Hallmark movies, and so the summary is: small town New England professional wedding photographer Allie Adams finds herself in the middle of a murder mystery when the groom is suddenly shot and killed during the ceremonial first dance. Suspicion immediately turns towards Allie's big brother Greg, the ex-boyfriend of the bride. Allie begins her own amateur investigation to clear Greg's name, teaming up with Sam, the newest detective on the force. And I would bet money that Paul McGillen is the real murderer. I have a feeling. But I feel like this is a really interesting, because it's also written by Marcy Holland and Walter Klenhard. We've interviewed Marcy. She's amazing. It was pretty intense, I thought. I mean, to have him be shot right at the wedding, that was pretty violent for Hallmark, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm about to say it seems like way like above kind of Hallmark's sort of comfortability with violence and shock factor.
Yeah, I think so. And and the I have to admit that I'm curious that also the choice of Ron Oliver. I think it's interesting for him. I haven't seen as far as I know, a mystery for quite a while, or if ever. I don't know if he's ever done one of the mysteries from Hallmark, and I don't know. It just seems like an interesting choice. I mean, they're definitely putting one of the best in behind this series. They're not just kind of half baking it, so that's nice.
I think it'll be interesting to see Alexa and Carlos in a mystery role.
Yeah. And of course she's gonna be hiding her baby bump. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. Expect a lot of bags and flowy shirts and things like that.
Standing behind counters.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I'm actually pretty intrigued. I feel like it'll be kind of predictable because obviously her brother isn't I mean, that would be really shocking if it was like, oh, the brother of the major character is, shooting somebody in the middle of a wedding. Like, that would be very, very bold.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty obvious that's not going to happen. And so I think it'll probably be pretty obvious and predictable, but I think it'll have some flair. And I'm curious to see how the Pennevegas do together in a more serious film. So I'm going to give this one, I'm going to go to Gold Band. I'm definitely curious, intrigued. It's also shot by our friend Tyler Zach, a cinematographer who came on our podcast. So that's fun. But Kaycee, what would you give it?
I'm going to give it a gold band.
Yeah.
But the gold's like kind of rubbing off. Like it could go, it might need to be like, refinished or whatever.
Yeah.
Solely because the font is really funky. I know that's a really
the font's
weird
so
thing.
weird.
But
and how my friend Sherry, her response about the horrible font is she was saying how it might be an attempt by Ron Oliver to sort of capture a vintage kind of feel to it, that some of the, if you look at
like a
old,
Hitchcock.
Yeah, if you look at old Hitchcocks like Vertigo and stuff like that, it kind of has, but to me it comes off as very juvenile. It looks like something from it looks like very Lisa Frank to me.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I didn't see Lisa Frank. I saw like Indiana Jones, like hieroglyphic-y.
Yeah, I guess there's that too. I don't know, just something about it feels juvenile to me. Yeah. Yeah.
The one with wow, losing words right now. The one, and she has the two guys that are like, vying after her, and she went underground in the college. That series.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah. I can't think of what it's called, but yeah.
But yeah, it just reminded me of like that style, like whatever architecture thing.
So Caroline, what would you give it? What ring?
I'm gonna give it a gold ring, but it's kind of not clean gold ring.
Not well sized.
Yeah.
All right. Alys, what about you?
I'm going to give it a gold ring. I'm actually really excited about this one. I wasn't too hot on the Pennevegas' last project, so I'm excited to see what they can do with the mystery. I'm really excited to see their chemistry and how they work together in this kind of medium.
Yeah. So it should be it's an intriguing mixture of stuff, and so it'll be interesting. So last we have Mystery 101 Playing Dead, and this is our second entry in the Mystery 101 series. And I guess we should ask, did you guys get a chance to see the first one, and what did you think of the first one? Did you get to see it, Kaycee?
I did. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. I love Jill Wagner, Chris Blaha. It kind of kept me guessing, just because I think I was too emotionally invested in the killer's son being sick. So I didn't think it was him, even though my husband's like, "Oh, it's totally him. How are you not seeing this?" And I'm like, "But his son is sick. Why would he do that?" Yeah. And then I was like, hashtag spoilers. So I hope if you didn't watch it, sorry. So I'm very excited about this next one.
Caroline, did you see the first one?
I did, and I loved it. I kind of guessed who it was pretty early on, but I still enjoyed it.
And did you see this one, Alys?
I did, yeah. And mysteries for me are kind of like romances. Like, I know what's going to happen at the end usually within like the first 15 minutes, but they are still fun to watch. And I really did enjoy this one, especially, they're fun to watch when they're well done. And I thought that one was really well done.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It was fun. I got to watch it with my dad. So that was fun because we did the podcast on it together. And I thought that it got pretty intense. Like at the end when he's holding her up in the car and stuff, like, and nobody knew where she was. I thought that was pretty good. And I mean, it's just kind of my cousin. had to enjoy it. But no, I thought it was a really nice start, and I thought they did a good job with that sort of banter. I thought that Christopher Plow's choices were a little bit strange. Like
Mhm.
I felt like he's like I felt like he was kind of overplaying the Crystal. Like, what do you think you're on NYPD Blue? Like, what's going on here? but it was still very enjoyable. So this one, Mr. 101 Playing Dead, the local theater is producing a mystery that crime fiction expert Amy unearthed. When one of the actresses' life is threatened, Amy and Travis must uncover which character is playing for keeps. And of course, stars Christopher Poloha and Jill Wagner, Preston Vanderslythe, James Raw. And do you think, Caroline, do you think that they are gonna make part of this local theater thing what they were shooting at Hope Valley, that whole thing with Christopher Poloha and the tweeting? Do you have any idea?
That's what I was guessing. Like I was wondering if they were gonna. That's where the theater thing was.
Like
But
an immersive experience or something?
yeah, I was excited to see him in on the Hope Valley set. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting.
It was interesting. It was sort of like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm. A lot of people were like crossover. I'm like, I don't think so, but it'll be.
It's like time travel. All of a sudden, is it a part of Hope Valley?
Yeah.
You're not Avengers Endgame. You stop it. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Kaycee, what do you think of this plot?
I think it'll be really fun and exciting. I was really excited to see the behind the scenes photo that they did of the whole cast.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of Agatha Christie, like how they always have their scene, and then they have the characters standing there posing and stuff. So I'm kind of wondering what play they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if it'd be just some like vaguely Old West play, or if it'll be one we recognize.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Alys, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm excited. I like stories and things like this that kind of pull back the curtain on acting, and I think having a murder or a mystery in within that sort of world is going to be really exciting. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, so I think I'll also give this one a gold band, but yeah, it's a nice gold band. It's one they're gonna want to steal on the mystery. But at least, what would you give it?
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a diamond. I like the first one. I like the world they're kind of setting it in. I'm excited. I'm ready to watch it.
Cool, good. Caroline, what about you?
I'll say diamond ring too. I love Chris Polaha and Jill Wagner together, so I'm excited.
Kaycee, what about you?
I am on that diamond ring.
Oh,
this is so exciting.
Wagon. So I'm very excited because I just really love Mystery 101, the pilot movie, and I don't know. I think Jill and Chris have great chemistry. I think it'll be really fun, and yeah, it'll be great.
That's great. Okay, so we did it. And I think I know for me, I'm the most excited for The Last Bridesmaid, and even The Wedding March 5. I am just it's gonna be super fun.
Yes,
so,
I think we're all oddly excited about it in a very weird way. Like, we're excited to see whether you think it's going to be a train wreck, or whether you love Jack and Josie, or whether you are just there for Tyler Hines and his adorableness.
Yeah, we're all part of the problem is basically what we're doing.
This is why Hallmark is so good.
So very fun. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and talking about these movies, and I look forward to seeing what you guys end up thinking as we go along the month. And let us know in the comment section or on Twitter. Let us know what your thoughts are, what you would give these various films for their preview ranking. And that would be really fun. We'd love to hear. And so Lisa, how can people find you on social media, all that fun stuff, your books? You have a new book you might want to talk about.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at writer Alys, writer and then ALYS, and then I'm at the same handle on Instagram. I have a new book out called Tea and a Cowboy, which is like a really fun kind of My Fair Lady rom-com about a cowboy trying to, become a proper gentleman, I suppose. And I have The Christmas Company, which is a Hallmark publishing book, which is being turned into a Hallmark movie this Christmas, which
Yay.
is
So
so
excited.
amazing and so exciting. And I'm excited for you all to see it and watch it.
And I can verify Tea and Cowboy was very dishy, and I very much enjoyed it. And so it's a lot of. I would definitely recommend you guys checking it out.
Yes, and I'm still reading it. I've just lost time. I'm still reading it, but it's so far so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad.
Oh, Kaycee, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Hallmark My Words.
Great. And Caroline, what about you?
Twitter, Mita Caroline R.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media and on iTunes and YouTube. Check that out. And make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod, all over social media and on iTunes and YouTube. And if you are listening on iTunes, if you give us your ratings and reviews, we really appreciate it. If you're listening on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, and consider becoming a patron, because we're really, really fun, and you get exclusives and access, and we get our patron Facebook group, which is so much fun. So we would love that. And so again, let us know what you think and what your preview rankings would be. And thank you so much, you guys. This was so much fun. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.